Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, cabinet members here present, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, judges of the Superior Courts, Your Worships, magistrates and cadis, members of the National Assembly, service chiefs, venerable religious leaders, my learned friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols respectfully observed. My Lord Chief Justice, I promise to be short and to the point. It is with great pleasure that I give the opening statement on behalf of the Gambia Bar Association on this August occasion, marking the official opening of the 2020 legal year. On behalf of the entire Bar, I extend our gratitude to the Chief Justice for according me this privilege. Exactly 3 years ago, I was privileged to witness the swearing in of President Adama Barrow at the Gambia High Commission in Dakar by my learned brother and friend, Sheriff Mari Tambidu, during the 2017 political impasse. Today, 3 years later, we are honored to have His Excellency before us for the second time to officially open the legal year 2020. Your Excellency, we are grateful for your attendance and extend our warm welcome to you and your cabinet members. The first pillar of our development blueprint, as stated in our National Development Plan, is the restoration of good governance, respect for human rights, rule of law, and empowering citizens through decentralization and local governance. The judiciary, the bar, and the Minister of Justice are the key players with the responsibility of ensuring the foundation and pillar of our development trajectory is on a firm ground. The interdependence and symbiotic relations of these three actors is critical as we forge ahead in rebuilding our national institutions and consolidating our democratic gains. As a bar, we are cognizant of the important role of lawyers in the promotion of good governance, respect for the rule of law, defense of the Constitution, and protection of rights in general. In this regard, we are pleased to note and recognize the contribution of our members to the Janneh Commission, to the Truth, Reconciliation, and Reparation Commission, the Constitutional Review Commission, Human Rights Commission, and most recently in the drafting of the Freedom of Information Bill as part of a civil society coalition on freedom of information. It is fair to say that the bar has stepped up to the challenge in nation building and is playing its part in helping to rebuild the governance structure of our dear country. With humility, I dare say that we still have a long way to go. However, I am particularly encouraged by the growing interest of young and upcoming lawyers in the practice of constitutional law, civil liberties, and promotion of human rights. Under the current democratic dispensation, we anticipate an increase in the demand for the service of lawyers as litigants gain more confidence in the justice delivery system. As lawyers, our operating environment is more conducive and less inhibitive, unlike the past. Legal practice is no longer a risky and life-threatening vocation. This is a great opportunity for lawyers to develop our jurisprudence progressively and advance the cause of justice. While this presents opportunities for lawyers, we must be mindful of our noble obligation to discharge our duties with diligence, professionalism, without fear or favor, and with the utmost regard for the ethics of the profession. The bar is an independent, non-partisan, professional association. However, our independence must not be misconstrued as a position of neutrality in the face of the infringement of rights or violations of the Constitution. It is our duty and responsibility to take positions, legal positions, on matters of law concerning the defense of the Constitution and protecting the rule of law. While we are making inroads as a profession, we continue to face numerous challenges. There is a need to ensure our skills and knowledge are continuously updated through mandatory continuous legal education to meet the demands of an ever-changing legal environment. I'm happy to note that there are plans to introduce continuous legal education by the General Legal Council in collaboration with the law school and the bar to meet this need. Every year, our law school graduates many lawyers, most of whom struggle to secure a pupillage, which is a mandatory requirement for enrollment as a legal practitioner. This, we must look at constructively as stakeholders to find a sustainable way forward. I urge our members, particularly those those practicing as sole practitioners, to look into expanding their practices to accommodate the upcoming lawyers. A pupillage gives an insight into legal practice while allowing the trainee to develop professional expertise. I must therefore emphasize the need to endeavor to make pupillage accessible to all or the majority of aspiring legal practitioners. As our numbers grow, we are witnessing an increasing number of complaints against lawyers, and this is a cause for concern because it undermines confidence in the bar and the legal system as a whole. This is a matter that both the bar and the General Legal Council takes very seriously and will ensure that lawyers who fall short of ethical professional standards are dealt with appropriately. On a positive note, the bar is playing its role in bringing access to justice closer to the people, especially for the underserved communities. Through our mobile legal aid clinics and establishment of a prison desk in the Joshua prison, we are offering fortnightly pro bono legal service to inmates. This is in partnership with the Legal Aid Agency with the support of the UNDP. The bulk of our work as lawyers is in the courts, arguing our case before judges or magistrates. The judge, as an arbiter of law between competing claims, has a huge responsibility and must be well versed in law and procedure, experienced and impartial in discharging this noble duty. The outcome of a judge's decision has wide ramification in the lives, liberty, and property of litigants before them and to society at large. For this reason, the bar for becoming a judge must be set very high. We acknowledge and applaud the steps taken by our Honorable Chief Justice to Gambianize the judiciary, which is the norm and expectation of any sovereign country. However, in doing so, it is imperative and critical to maintain the quality and high standards of the bench. In my humble opinion and with respect, perhaps it might be prudent to phase out the process of Gambianization to ensure that there is a pool of qualified Gambian nationals with requisite experience fit to be appointed or elevated to the bench. As a bar, we have a role to play in this, and we will endeavor to encourage competent, experienced Gambian legal practitioners to consider taking up positions on the bench. It is in our collective interest to ensure that the quality and standards of the bench are maintained at all costs. As legal practitioners and stakeholders in the legal sector who routinely interact with the bench, we humbly believe that the bar should have a more prominent say and role in the appointment of judges. Under the current constitution, we are entitled to recommend one representative to the Attorney General for nomination to serve on the Judicial Service Commission, known as the JSC. Unfortunately, for close to 3 years, our recommended candidate is yet to be nominated as a member of the JSC. I have been assured by my brother, the Honorable AG, that our membership at the JSC will be finalized expeditiously. As a bar, we sincerely hope that the number of legal practitioners on the JSC will be increased in the next constitution. Despite all the challenges of the judiciary, we recognize the efforts made by the CJ to improve the condition of service of the judges and the judicial staff, amongst other things. The introduction of legal assistant is a positive development geared towards improving the work of judges, and it's already paying dividends. We also understand that their conditions of pay have been improved. Notwithstanding these interventions, we still have some way to go as a judiciary. Our judiciary is still under-resourced. Our judges in this day and age are still recording proceedings by longhand, which is very tedious and laborious. It is indeed critical for the judiciary to consider digitizing or automating court processes and proceedings. This is the norm in many countries in the sub-region, where court processes are electronically transcribed and processes can be filed electronically, known as e-filing. While the judiciary is increasing the number of judges to meet the increasing caseload, we do not have enough courtrooms to accommodate our judges comfortably. There is a dire need to upgrade the court infrastructure in the Greater Banjul area and build more courts in the regions to broaden access to justice to the majority of Gambians. From this program, I've observed that the foundation stone for Bundung Court Complex will be laid on Wednesday. This is indeed timely. I hope this will be extended to Carnington Court and, more importantly, in the regions. There are significant reforms in the legal sector, mainly funded by donors with counterpart contribution from the government. Yet, the judiciary, which is at the heart of the administration of justice, still remains underfunded. Your Excellency, I urge your government and our donor partners to allocate more resources to this sector as a matter of priority and urgency. Spending on the judiciary is not an expense. It is an investment in our democracy. And an investment in our democracy guarantees peace and stability. I conclude. Time, like all resources, is scarce. I would therefore conclude my statement by once again thanking you all for your patience. For the Gambia, our homeland.